What is up, Heffas and friends? Welcome to another episode of Java and Journeys with Jillian. If you're new here to this channel, my name is Jillian. How are you doing? Y'all, we are back again. Look at where we're at. So we are walking in for round 2 at Epic Universe. That's right, friends. We're giving it another shot. If you happen to miss my last video about Epic Universe, check it out so that way you already know how part 1 went down. It wasn't the best, but we are manifesting a better day, a better experience, and shout out to the team members at Universal for hearing our feedback, making the situation right. And y'all, we're back here for part 2. So thank you again to the amazing team members. I am going to manifest a better experience. It's a nice day here in Florida, and we'll see how this goes. So my first recording, we were here on a Friday. We're still in pass holder preview. By the time I get this video up, y'all, I have a work trip coming up, so it's probably gonna be a couple of weeks. It's gonna be closer, actually, if not at grand opening to the public. We're gonna be close to it. So I'm also happy and I feel very grateful for the Universal team for inviting us to come back out here again, because when it opens up to the general public, I imagine it is going to be bonkers. Anything new, especially in Florida, this is such a touristy place, is going to be wild and crazy. So y'all, we're gonna give this another shot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share on this adventure. Let's go ahead and get round 2 of Epic Universe going. All right, friends, it's a little after 10 o'clock and it is supposed to be a busy day, which I expected. So it's Saturday, right? But here is our, I like to call these portals, so to speak, to head into Epic Universe. We are going to channel good vibes only on this day, okay? We're gonna have a great day. And even though we are still in technical previews, we already know that there could be delays. But we're gonna manifest delays that are manageable, or just no delays, minimal delays. And when the delays happen, we're gonna stay cool, calm, and collected. And the strategy for today is that if anything is perceived to have a long delay, we're not gonna wait longer than 15 minutes. We're gonna keep the show on the road and we're gonna truck on to the next one. Now, y'all, we are going to start our journey off by running into the gift shop because the park doesn't officially open during these pass holder preview weeks until 11. Similar to what we did last time, we were going to go into the gift shop. There are a couple of items that we actually know we want to pick up. And y'all, how can we have Java and Journeys without a little bit of Java in our lives? So you all know that there's not an actual coffee shop outside of like Starbucks, especially toward the entrance. So that's okay. We don't hit on Starbucks over here. We're probably gonna go ahead, head over there, and I haven't actually been inside, so check it out. If the line isn't too crazy, grab some Java, and we're gonna head over to a Dark Universe as our first stop. So, y'all know that my sister always is themed to the T's. Anytime we go to Disney or we go to Universal, check out this drip. Show the people your drip, Whitney. We got some Yoshi realness going on. And you know, she got this Jurassic World, looking trifling with this Jurassic World lanyard. So she is over here picking out her Super Mario lanyard. Which one do y'all think she should get? I like the Luigi one. I think for what you have, any of these are good.
This one is like
maybe with the exception of the peach, because that's a little bit more pink for what you're wearing. Yeah, I like that one.
outside is red.
How much are the lanyards?
Does it say?
Y'all,
They don't ever give you the price.
this is what's weird. There are no visible prices on some of the merch here.
No, this is $10 for the.
Now, these where you can put your pass holder cards or anything at that have prices. These are $10. So you definitely want to get these with your lanyard if you're going to put your card or any type of like express pass, anything like that on you. And I like that it has the gold detailing right there.
Nintendo World button.
Yeah, and it says Nintendo World on it. Yeah. So we're going to probably get some Super Mario merch, check out the power bands, and then hopefully maybe fit in a Starbucks run. We'll see. And check out these keychains. Y'all, there are literally so many great options. And you heard me mention this in my last video that I have to really think about this. And for those of you all who know my people, you know, but I'm kind of channeling Miss Celia from Color Purple, and you know toward the end when she has that claw.
Knock you up on everything you've done to me. Already done to you.
She says, until you do right by me. That's my vibe right now. There's so many cute things, but I'm like, okay, Epic, when you do right by me, I will gladly come and purchase a bunch of merch. There's so many cute things I see, especially in the Nintendo world. And speaking of drip, y'all, I don't really have any kind of coordinated drip on for my visit today. I have this is my Harry Potter on Broadway. So for those of you who have seen Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, you know what this is a reference to. And so, of course, having a Harry Potter universe here, I wanted to have some representation. So I have my Voldemort shirt on, and also no spoilers. So if you know, you know. But when it comes to getting anything else, I'm like, until you do right by me, which you're manifesting. Not Jillian putting a curse in a hex. Not her in the cult of Dolores Dorothea Umbridge. Y'all, I just want to see. I want to see how the vibes feel. And then if the vibes are right, I'll come back and pick up a thing or two. I think I will go ahead and get a power band because we do want to do some of the activities in the Super Nintendo world. So that may be the only thing I pick up just for now, TBD. My co-producer is going to get one. I don't know if Whitney's going to get one, but Whitney is definitely picking up that lanyard. So that way, you know, she is coordinated AF. So we're just in line right now to check out, and we'll see where the spirit takes us after this, hopefully to a short line at the Starbucks. All right, Heffas, so we have our power band. Y'all know I gotta go with my bro, DK. I was going back and forth, I'm like, do I want Princess Peach? Because you all know I like to channel my pink, my forever pink vibes. But I was like, you know what, no. Because we're gonna get this day on like Donkey Kong. And y'all know how I was talking about manifesting short lines. Look at this beautiful line for the Starbucks, yes. This is what happens when you only have one coffee option. But y'all, we're gonna try to get our Java on, and this is why we showed up early, right? Get here early, no rush, easy breezy. So we're gonna get our Java on. We have our DK. I'm excited. And if you're curious about the power band, so typically they are $45, but if you are a pass holder universal, you will get a discount, and the amount of discount will depend on your tier. For inquiring minds who would like to know how to set up your power band, we're multitasking, we're waiting for Starbucks, and we're going to make this a productive experience all just for you. All right, fam, so here is your power band. Instructions are located inside the box. Now, once you open your box, you'll see the instructions located behind this plastic and the QR code located on the back of your power band. All power bands have this QR code, and you're going to need to scan that on the app to get it set up. Okay, friends, make sure you have your Universal app ready to go. Once you go into the app, you're going to head over to the attractions, and you'll see Super Nintendo World. Scroll over to Universal Play. You're gonna click on that, and you'll see more instructions, and then you're gonna tap on Play Now. All right, and then that QR code on the back of your band, you're gonna hit scan band and scan that QR code. Easy. So I am DK. I'm gonna work on putting in my player and picking out my icon. Friends, we are right outside the Starbucks. Once you create your player name, your character, and color for your background, you should be taken to a screen like this. And this is your home screen. And y'all know Java in Journeys 24. And this is super easy. Also, I want to call out that you may have to do different variations of a name. It is quite sensitive. So just be mindful of that, but you can always go back in, make some edits, and if you have a family, some good friends that you like to follow on your gaming adventures in Super Nintendo World, you can also add players to your account, so that way you all can keep up some friendly competition and track your scores. We got our power band set up. We are inside Starbucks trying to get our caffeinated hijinks on. And if you're someone who loves to collect the Starbucks mugs like me, they do have an Epic Universe theme mug, which is so adorable and cute, as well as you have your ornament here, or if you like to use these as espresso mugs, you can. And the Starbucks is quite beautiful, but definitely meant for you to get in line, get your order, and get the H out. To give you kind of a view. And again, it's that celestial zodiac star exploration feeling, which I absolutely love. Very beautiful, warm, and cozy in here. Come on, Heffas. We got our Starbucks. We're making it just in time for rope drop. I am going to cheers to that. Y'all, I am drinking a ice shaken brown sugar espresso for all my bougie girlies out there. Cheers. Let's get this journey started. When the universe is working, life can taste so good. My friends, while we are enjoying our bit of Java, check out how deep this line is. So, this is a good pro tip for you. If you come out here early enough for a rope drop, you want to make sure that you are really paying attention to what side you're on, right? If you're going to go, for example, to Super Mario Universe, you're like, that's how I want to start my day. You want to actually be on the opposite side, which you'll see some crowds in the distance over across. Same thing, if you're like, oh, I want to start my day off at Harry Potter Universe, just make sure you're cognizant of what side. The side that we're on is better for Dark Universe, How to Train Your Dragon. So just something to be mindful of, but you know what? Let's just say, friends, you end up on the wrong side of the line. It's all good. Don't sweat it. All roads lead to Rome, right? So you will be able to make it across. It's just going to take you a little bit more steps, right? But the line is actually moving right now, which is great. And we're going to sip on this coffee and head over to Dark Universe. Let's go! I'm just kidding. Y'all, you do not... It's not that crucial, but, you know, we do believe in a little bit of power walking. So we just passed by How to Train Your Dragon, and we're heading over to Dark Universe. And you'll see here, granted, this is pass holder preview, right? So the crowds and the looks can be a bit deceiving because it's probably going to be a bit more busy when they open it up to the general public. Over here, we're passing by Stardust Racers. So again, if you were like, hey, I want to try to get myself in good line position to get on Stardust Racers, you want to get toward the right side of the park when you're coming into Epic Universe. We are crossing over. We're going to pass by Helios over here as we make our way over to Dark Universe. And y'all, you know I have no problems correcting anything that I say, so I want to make a slight correction to like our position in the line. It would have been better for us to be on the opposite side for Dark Universe, but you'll see it over in the distance as we're bending over to the right side. So in all honesty, and if you're over to the far opposite side, you'll see folks making a beeline over to Super Nintendo World. So in all, like, Dark Universe, because of where it's located, you could really, I think, maybe be in either line, but the left side is probably a bit more direct than the side we were on. But we were able to make our way over very easily. It's just one of those things, like being mindful of positioning is always a good thing. And as we mentioned before in my last videos, you see here, everything is very open. So I'm gonna try to call out a bit more things for your attention now that we kind of have a little bit more awareness of the lay of the land. Plenty of seating, but everything is open. And what I imagine is when these trees, as they grow taller, grow more leaves, it will feel a bit more shaded in certain areas of the park. But my friends, here we are in front of Dark Universe. Let's get it. All right, my friends, we are making a beeline straight over to Monsters Unchained, which is this attraction here. The line is starting around to the back. Let's go ahead and head for it.
Let's just get in line.
Now, during the pass order preview, Monsters Unchained was definitely one of those attractions that prone to delays, prone to closures. So I definitely recommend when the park fully opens, if it's possible, go ahead and be thinking about those rides like Monsters Unchained, Battle at the Ministry, Donkey Kong. Those rides that typically can be prone to long delays / closures. Pick a ride that you want to start your day out with, one of those, and just go ahead and head on over. And I recommend that because you never know if and when these technical issues are going to happen that could cause extremely long delays. And you see, like, look how long this line is wrapping up. But that's okay, we're in it to win it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, things go smoothly. This line, actually, y'all, I don't even want to say, I'm like, maybe this line won't take longer than an hour. I actually have no idea how long this line is going to take. I did not expect for this many people to be back here. So we're gonna pray really hard. Ooh, y'all, I get nervous. We are still waiting to get in the queue. We're back by, I would say, behind even the Burning Blade Tavern. Woo! Lord.
So we can't just have one person.
Y'all, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray on this. My co-producer says that he predicts that the line is going to, as they're filling up the queue, hopefully this won't be too bad. Y'all, the last time I was here, I didn't even walk this far back. I don't even know where we're at, y'all. This is wild. This is wild. Y'all, we're going to pray extra hard. Who knew? But y'all, you know my philosophy is today is the day where if something is delayed, if a ride goes down, I'm not talking about standing in the line for the queue, I'm talking about if the ride is closed because of something that happens temporarily. we're gonna give it a little bit of time and then we're gonna move on to the next. Because time is money and money is time. And we are not about that life of not trying to have a full and robust experience on this day. Okay, friends, the plot thickens. So heads up, I'm gonna try to drop some gems and knowledge on you all. So you see where we're at, right? We are adjacent to Curse of the Werewolf. You see that the queue is wrapped all the way around. We walked all the way back only to make a full circle loop, pretty much back where we walked in. So you see Monsters Unchained right here. Y'all, we just came from this area. You'll see the well in the center. So maybe half pro tip. If your goal is to do Monsters Unchained first thing, you may want to, instead of going around, because none of us knew where the end of the line actually started. So it seems like if the queue is long enough, it's going to wrap all the way around, basically across from where Monsters Unchained starts. So instead of walking all the way around, just pivot at the fork adjacent to where you see Curse of the Werewolf right here. If it happens at the queue, you see that it's starting to fill up. That way you're not like a ton of us just like did this weird little loop not knowing, right? The more you know, the better your experience going around the next time, but this is all good. This is just like things that any of us were not thinking in terms of mine, but the line is moving slowly but surely, and I will let you all know about how long it is to get from this area all the way into the proper queue of Monsters Unchained. Inside the castle, and let me tell you all, look at how this queue can be windy. We're not anywhere in this area, which is a great sign, but like this just shows you how deep the queue can go. Like this is insane. Right now we are in this part of the queue, still pretty busy, but at least we're inside an interior structure. We have some good airflow going, all good. Friends, in terms of timestamp, we got in the current queue area that we're waiting in probably around 11:10. So if you notice, we were all the way in the very back of the queue near the Curse of the Werewolf. That was around what, 10:58. So literally not a lot of time to get through here. So co-producer was correct on his prediction of that, so I'm thankful. And we're just hanging out. You'll see that we're nearing this queue area and about to go into another one. For the purposes of tracking of time, right now, friends, it's 11:39. So really, if we just want to make the numbers pretty even, we started the queue around 11, 10:58. We're going to bump it up to 11. And we have been doing this for about 40 minutes, which is what to be expected. They actually, while we were in the queue, someone had mentioned that they have posted a wait time of about 45 minutes. So I'm hoping, and I have a feeling because I'm starting to see warning signs, that we're actually getting closer to the ride entrance. So not bad at all. We're making it through. Ooh, child. I don't know where we're going.
Attention, little lab rats. The doctor requests that you fill in all available space, keeping up with the bodies in front of you. And don't touch the doctor's things.
Listen, I won't touch nothing if it means that we're gonna make it through this queue. You got me on my best behavior today. All right, I am excited about turning this corner here. Let's see what the queue looks like as we enter in this part of the line.
While they were developing their plan to
Y'all, I need these faux drip candles in my household. So cute. This is how you know you are a millennial trying to decorate your house, when you start looking around at Universal sets to see how folks have stuff arranged and put up. Oh yes, we are being nosy. I'm like, this feels like when you're at someone's house and you know that there are certain rooms that are off limits, and I'm like, oh, I got lost, I'm so sorry. Let's look at this family tree, which I imagine are some of the creators of the ride. That is so cool. Oh my God, y'all, look at this. We are experiencing this for the first time. Oh my God. Y'all, this is wild. Another part of the queue. Oh my gosh.
Come closer, little lab rats. Come closer. I won't hurt you. Yet. I sense fear in your hearts. You're right to be afraid. Darkness lies ahead. Now is the time to abandon hope.
I am Igor. My job is to get you through this experiment in one piece. But Igor, I hear you say, where's the fun in that? I agree, you delightful freak. Sadly, this is not that kind of experiment. Look closely. This is a catacombs navigation unit. All you little lab rats and your little lab rat friends get to ride one. You sit, Igor steers, nothing goes wrong. Yes? Oh. Don't look at that. This is just the emergency engine function. All according to plan. Yes, doctor. The doctor will see you now. This is fun, yes?
Dr. Victoria Frankenstein. Today, you chosen few will witness my greatest discovery yet. Together, we will finish what my great-grandfather started. They called Henry a monster. They were afraid of what he had done. But you will see, there's nothing to fear. Show them.
What's Doctor?
Lower the lights, quickly. Now. These people are friends. See? There's nothing to be afraid of. He is amazing. Better than the original. He is the key to our most exciting experiment. For years, I have studied and controlled the monsters that prowl the darkness. And only one remains. I will control my ultimate challenge. Count Dracula. Calm yourself. That wasn't us.
Silence, creature. I will destroy you and bury.
These two just don't get along. The Dracula experiment is the last piece of the puzzle. And with your help, the world will never see the name Frankenstein the same again. Open the doors! Our greatest victory is just through there. Quickly, this will change your life. Aren't you
A Monsters Unleashed.
All right, friends, I will catch you on the other side and let you know how the ride went. All right, my friends, we have, y'all, fortunes. Fortune has smiled on us because we were able to get 2 rides in. And I'm about to say something that's a bit controversial. I personally think that Monsters Unchained is better than Battle at the Ministry. Okay, don't come for me. Don't come for me unless you have a check for me. Y'all, we are moving fast. So we are in the queue for single riders for the Curse of the Werewolf, because the regular queue is an hour long. And our strategy here is go ahead, let's get the rides done in Dark Universe, and then we'll move on to the next. But y'all, like I said before, I said what I said, I said what I said. Now, that's not to say that Ministry of Magic is not good. It is an incredible ride, but I like how in Monsters Unchained, there's a better integration of the animatronics and the screens. Whereas with Ministry of Magic, though it's cool, I feel like it leans very heavily on the screens. So for me, I didn't feel the motion sickness like I did with Ministry of Magic, because you are staring while you're in the ride vehicle. Whereas this one, there was enough for my eyes to look at that didn't cause me motion sickness. Y'all, that was so much fun. And like I said before, 2 rides. We got 2 rides in. Let me tell you what had happened. So we moved to the queue. We got through it, I would say, in about an hour. And then the person that was on our same ride vehicle, she came from the single rider line, and we're like, how long did you wait? She was like, oh, like 6 minutes, but we wanted to actually go through and look at the queue because the queue was really cool. You all saw the footage. And so once we finished the ride, I'm like, let's just hop back on single rider real quick before this ride goes down. Not Jillian being shady, but just in case, because Monsters Unchained is prone to delays. So I'm like, let's just get it done. So y'all, we were actually able to turn right back around, get right back in single rider, and because we hit it at the right timing, the 3 of us, my co-producer, myself, and my sister, were all able to get on that ride with no issues. Y'all, I am shooketh. Like, we were able to stay together, and it is a really, really cool ride, fun experience. I don't know if the end was quite working in terms of all the effects, but the rest of the effects throughout the ride were working perfectly. And let me just like speak to Victoria Frankenstein for a second.
I have one question, Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
I beg your pardon?
My name. It's pronounced Frankenstein.
But aren't you the grandson of the famous Dr. Victor Frankenstein, who went into graveyards, dug up freshly buried corpses, and transformed dead components into...
Yes. We all know what he did. But I'd rather be remembered for my own small contributions to science.
And I know this girl did not just try to correct me on her name, the family name. Girl, bye. Victoria, why you would want to try to bring Dracula back? Girl, what are we doing? Is that mindful behavior? Is that behavior very demure? Why? Why, Sway? Why would we do this? What kind of decisions are we making, girl? Y'all, ride the ride and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Or I'm sure there is some footage out there of someone who recorded it and you will know exactly what my conversation is, and that me and Victoria, we need to have a chat, girl. You need to fill out the appropriate paperwork and get clearance before you try to bring any monsters, demons, henchmen, anything back from the dead, my girl. We need to have a talk because you're not making good decisions. You're not. We just got off of Curse of the Werewolf. That was a lot of fun. And I think in the single rider line, we only waited like 10 minutes, if that, y'all. Do you see the importance of manifesting? And I don't want to speak too soon and jinx myself, but so far, this has been quite the day. We've gotten 2 rides in on Monsters Unchained. We just finished one ride on Curse of the Werewolf, so we're doing good. We're going to actually head over to one of the restaurants located here in Dark Universe, which I cannot wait to try out and see like what's up with the food over there, because as you all know, my last video we went to Toadstool's Cafe and I didn't really love the food. It was okay, and like I said, I think like if you want a food or a meal that's very cute, very well themed, if you are a lover of all things Super Nintendo, Super Mario more specifically, then yes, like go. And I think it's fun to go at least once just to get your pictures and eat in like a really cute setting that's air conditioned, but like to me, the flavors weren't there. It's just a very basic meal. Also, I think Toadstool's Cafe is really good if you have picky eaters that just want something very plain Jane, simple. I think it's great for that. Otherwise, try something else. And with this being our second time out here, we're definitely going to go, because this is what we wanted to do the last time, but time just wasn't on our side with the delays we experienced overall. So now getting a chance to go to basically the Steakhouse located in Dark Universe is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to head over there and then we'll see what's up after the meal. I think maybe we'll go ahead and do Super Nintendo World, but I'm also curious to see what the wait times are in some of the other universes / worlds, so we can get a better idea of what ride or attraction to hop onto next. If you're interested in going to Das Steakhouse, it is actually located toward the well that you see when you walk into Dark Universe, so very easy to get to, and right across from one of the gift shops over here. Now this is so cool, but I just really wish in this area that they had just like made it maybe a little bit larger, because I could definitely see on a crowded day how busy this can get. But when you first come in, you will round the corner over to your right and you will see Das Steakhouse. Let's go ahead and head on in.
All right, on your left, and everyone's in order.
Thank you.
Enjoy, I hope to see you coming.
Ooh. I'm feeling the ambiance, y'all. While we are waiting in the queue, just some points of note that you can always pull up the menu from your mobile device. Having the app is super important. And also they have the digital monitors where the menu is fully present. So that way you have a bit of time to look, figure out what exactly it is you would want to eat and drink, and you make your decision by the time you get to your table. Now, similar to Toadstool's Cafe, you'll see that once you are seated, you just scan the QR code, place your order from your table, and they will bring the food out to you. So I actually had a video with my co-producer, aka husband, where we talk about a lot of fun facts and as well as things to know before you come out here that I think are not just relevant for pastoral preview, but just in general, right? And of course, I'm sure that our guidance and advice is going to evolve over time as Epic Universe opens to the general public starting the 22nd of May. But it is super important that you have access to the app, that your phone is charged, bring a battery with you, because so much of the experience here when you're ordering food is going to require you being able to scan the QR codes so that way you can order directly from your table or the line that you're in. It looks like we are being seated, so I'm going to show you all a little bit of the view as we walk over to our table. Let's check out this food. So here we have the bits and pieces. This is kind of akin to a meatloaf, I would say. And then it is sitting on a bed of veggies and mashed potato that has scallion. But it also has like the steak effect, because you know you have to always have a steak to protect yourself from these vampires around here. Also, we are going to be trying out the carved steak, double the steak for double the protection. This is giving me prime rib vibes. You also have veggies and mashed potatoes, and our server did pour the au jus on the steak / prime rib more appropriately when he had brought it out. And then we also have our brains. And this is made of a base of Greek yogurt and raspberry sauce. This looks like so much fun. I cannot wait to get into it. And my co-producer also got his favorite beer, the Reaper. And this is a beer that he really liked the last time we visited. And this has nutmeg, cinnamon, so definitely giving a lot of the village vibes over here. A few bites in and this is really good. So you'll see on the inside our meatloaf is perfectly cooked. That glaze is delicious. The mashed potatoes have a great texture. And I really like that sauce. The sauce on the meatloaf is a little bit on the sweeter side. It tastes like a really nice steak glaze. If you are not a fan of having a sweeter sauce because it's not like a tomato base, I may tell you to skip the bits and pieces altogether because it's not traditional in that way. But also, if you really get into the meatloaf, you'll see that nice sear at the top. And even with the veggies are perfectly cooked. This is much better in terms of, even I would say, ambiance, food versus Toadstool Cafe, though the food here that is served is completely different than Toadstool Cafe. This is a heavier and heartier meal, but this is something I'm splitting with my co-producer, so if you want to try a lot of different things at Epic Universe, I would definitely suggest, especially if you're coming with a group, just get one or two dishes, share. It doesn't feel quite as heavy, but I am enjoying this. My sister is allowing me to try her steak, and I'll show you all a bit of what this looks like. And again, they will come to your table with the au jus. Did you get a chance to pick the temperature on this? Okay, so this is automatically cooked medium, and you see just like a slight pink. So I think that this to me looks a bit more mid-well. Let's try it out. So it definitely tastes like prime rib, but it's not as like melt in your mouth like a good prime rib steak typically should taste, but the flavor is there. When I was even cutting into this before I logged in with you all, it was a little bit difficult for me to cut, so I knew that it was going to be a bit chewier piece of steak. So if you want something that's very soft and moist, this prime rib doesn't taste as melt in your mouth as I would like it, but the flavor is really good. Heffas. So I started working on the brain, and it occurred to me, I took photos of the brain. I did not actually show you all what the brain looks like. So forgive its appearance. This brain, I have not eaten it yet, but I started taking a bite out of it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but look on the inside, y'all. This is wild. So the outside is raspberry sauce, and the coating around the brain is a white chocolate with a Greek yogurt panna cotta base on the inside. Y'all, this brain was messy. This brain was on the way to the hospital, and it, you know, pretty much fell on the ground a little bit. So that's what had happened. Let's go ahead and try this out. So, like, really putting my fork into it, smooth, that's what I would expect. Here's a little piece of our brain. Ugh, so delightfully disgusting looking. Let's try it out. That is really nice. That raspberry is a kick in the teeth. It's tart, great flavor. It's not overly sweet. So I think that there's a really good balance between that and the white chocolate coating. So I'm going to continue to work on this. My co-producer does not like this at all. He's not a fan of things that are like cheesecake-esque or cheesecake adjacent. And he's absolutely right. This has the texture of a very smooth cheesecake. And if you're someone that's not into those flavors, I would probably try the red velvet coffin cake that they have, which I'm looking forward to trying that out on the next visit. Y'all, it looks like I literally just tore up that brain. There's literally nothing left of it. That was so good. And I think the biggest thing that I appreciated about that dessert is that it's super light, not heavy, and again, not super sweet, but that raspberry is very prominent. So I'm happy they made it like that, because with the white chocolate, with the raspberry, you feel like there's a really good balance. So I highly recommend it. Let's talk about this meal. So the carb steak, I think it's okay. Honestly, I think it's a pass. Only because the prime rib is not melting your mouth like how I would like to have a prime rib, but the flavor is still there. So I had to give that a rating. I probably would give it a 2. Now, the meatloaf, the bits and pieces with that glaze and that sear, that was where it was at. I would probably give that dish a 3.5. It was so good. The mashed potatoes on both plates were great. The potatoes were cooked perfectly. I would even say the mixed vegetables, the mushroom, the slice of butternut squash that was on the side, everything was perfectly cooked, flavorful, roasted to perfection. So I absolutely would recommend Das Steakhouse. The food is a little bit on the heavier side, although there are lighter options. They had chicken wings, yet those are fried, but they also had a forager salad, and as well as the chicken sandwich. So there are certainly plenty of other options besides getting meatloaf, getting something beef base. They have also a basically fish on a steak as well as chicken on a steak. So there's a ton of variety, as well as a stuffed cabbage vegan option. in case that tickles your fancy. So highly recommend this restaurant, and also love the ambiance. It's giving spooky. It's giving you are eating at the town village before we go over to Dr. Frankenstein's mansion and have an intervention, because Victoria, girl, this is like, we need to bring Victoria down to earth, invite her over to the steakhouse, and just have a little meet and three and a conversation, okay? So highly recommend, come over and try Das Steakhouse, and let's go on to the next fun adventure. Friends, let's go ahead and head on out. And on the way out, we'll get a last view and glimpse of Das Steakhouse. Look at here, Macy. Don't be looking at me like that. I already told you. You need to go straight to your room. Yo, I don't know what's up with Macy. She just thinks that she runs the show. And she's just been looking at me, and I'm like, girl, go get your life. Go take your bear and go get your life. And on the way out, we found additional friends to say hello to. This is hilarious to me. And you all can see the theming around steaks. Steaks are absolutely everywhere and a key to survival in the dark universe. We are now heading over to the Harry Potter universe to go see the show, which starts here in the next half hour. So y'all, this is really good timing, because I have heard of this show getting full and then you're not able to go. So hopefully a half hour is enough time to go ahead and get in the queue. And this is another experience I'm looking forward to having. And note that this show sometimes can also be prone to skipping times, you know, if there's any type of issue, because there is, I think, some type of effect in it. So it looks like it's still happening as scheduled. So hopefully when we head over there, we'll be able to get in line and check that out. Low key, y'all, I'm kind of feeling a little, my heart is, after the last trauma, my heart is skipping a beat a little bit walking in here. And I'm like, it's okay, heart. We're not trying to go back to the Ministry of Magic. Although, y'all, that ride has been closed pretty much all day, or I should say so far. All day is not fair. So far it has been closed since park opened. And right now we're heading into the 3 o'clock hour. So don't know if it's going to come back online, but we had the opportunity to ride it. I am very pleased and honored, though, to welcome you all to 1920s Paris, where we are going to go see the show straight ahead of us. have just finished the Cirque Our Canoe show, which was really good. And now we were able to nab a virtual queue. We're going to see how long it takes for us to actually ride the Battle of the Ministry, the Battle at the Ministry of Magic today. Y'all will see. And once we exit out of here, I'll tell you a bit more detail about A, how long the queue actually was this go around, and B, a little bit more about the Le Cirque show. I was super impressed, and I'm just happy to be having a lot of experiences interviewing here. This is like the vibe I wanted the first go around we got here, but it's okay. Y'all, I know it's the third time the charm, but sometimes the second time could be the charm too, right? So let's see how this attempt for the attraction goes. Friends, we literally just walked on to the ride. The power of the virtual queue, and there is a little bit of a trick to that. Basically, they only for right now have the queues open up at specific times during the day, 11, 3, and 6. And as soon as you are able to get into the virtual queue, you just need to keep like refreshing your party size without exiting the page. And hopefully, eventually, you'll be able to clock a time. Literally, JD, aka the co-producer, has been refreshing these times since we've been here, and we were able to get in at 3 o'clock, basically, to get a time to go at 4:05. Very fortuitous, and you all saw, that is probably the most empty I will ever see that queue in my life. The most empty, that's it. So, with that being said, the second time of riding Ministry of Magic Battle at, y'all, I like the ride less. Honestly, Monsters Unchained is far better. Even the Forbidden Journey ride at Universal, better. It just felt much more like I was watching a screen, and I didn't really, I think it's probably because I was so exhausted and tired the last go round, and it was like the first time through, and you're like, oh man, like it's very fresh, and you're trying to process everything. Now going through it again, it still is an incredible ride in the sense of that's probably the most immersive screen simulator. Simulator is actually the best way. It's a massive simulated magic ride. But I find it less interesting now after going through it again because it feels like I'm just watching what's happening and play out. I don't really feel like I'm a part of it the way that I did with Monsters Unchained. But it's all good because the fact that we were able to get these big rides in, I am just shocked. The fact that we were able to see Le Cirque, our canoes, I am shocked. Because these were the things that were delayed / closed. And even Battle at the Ministry of Magic has been closed for most of the day. So y'all, listen, I was manifesting really hard. And we're actually passing by Stardust Racers right now. We're going to head over to How to Train Your Dragon Land to grab a quick bite. And a big thing that we have left on our to-do list of all the experiences and rides you can have here now that we've been able to get through some of the bigger ones is to go over to Super Nintendo World and actually put our power bands to the test and just try out some of the fun things you can do with your power band, as well as ride Mario Kart. So I am definitely looking forward to that. I also would like to get on the Carousel, which that's been pretty low weights all day today. So yeah, this is excellent. I'm super excited. I'm happy. Again, we have experienced a few delays, but they have been very minor, all things considered. So yeah, this is a complete turn of events. And I will say sometimes it's just time of day, but also shout out again to the team members here at Universal that continue to put a smile on my face and make me laugh. We had a team member interacting with my sister, and he just came up to her. He's like, ma'am, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to alarm you. But there's a creature on your head, because she has the Yoshi headband, and it was a hysterical interaction. So once again, shout out to the team members for just being awesome. Now, we are about to head into How to Train Your Dragon, which I think of all the worlds is the one that feels the most complete. I think it's the one that feels the most, I don't know, adventurous, so to speak, but it's How to Train Your Dragon, so you always are going to get that sense of adventure. But it's the one that like really takes my breath away, because I never would have expected for this land to look like I'm stepping right into basically the movie. It's really insane. My friends, welcome to the Isle of Burke. We are going to over to Grog and Gruel, and there is this macaroni and cheese cone that my sister's really interested in trying out. So we are going to wait in the line and get this quick snack before heading to the next adventure. Friends, we are going to get the PB&J cone, which you can see this is going to have macaroni and cheese with barbecue harissa, pulled pork, a peanut bacon jam, and parsley served in a crunchy cone. So my sister's cone comes with Nashville hot chicken and mac and cheese. And you can see this here, and look at all that filling.
Yeah, not too many calories to it.
Certainly looks fit for something that you would find at a place full of dragons. And y'all, I can't. Like, this is ultimate Heffa big back behavior. Like, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to just get a little snack before, you know, going to the next thing. This cone is massive. I honestly didn't expect for it to be that big. I thought it was just gonna be like a little tiny cone something. So hopefully this will be good. And I would not be shocked if we ended up with a little bit left over. And here is the second cone, my friends. This is the PB&J with the pork and bacon jam. And again, these are so massive, you can easily share this with a couple of others. So if you check out the inside, and this is the chicken one, you do get a lot of meat and macaroni and cheese. And I'll say the macaroni and cheese is actually really good. The noodles taste cooked perfectly. Y'all, this is a lot. I don't even know that I'm going to, there's not even, I don't even know. I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to finish this. It's just a lot of bread, a lot of carbs. Which honestly, when you're walking around here all day, there's nothing wrong with a bit of carbo loading, but I would definitely say if you can share this with a few folks, do that, because for one person, this thing is filling, it's heavy, it's a lot. Dare I even say, if you have like a little plastic baggie or something with you, maybe like prepare to put some of that in there, because it's a lot of noodles and meat, which, hey, at least you're getting your money's worth. But this is a very, 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 very heavy meal. This is not, like I said, Heffa / big bag behavior. There is no way I could consume all of this personally, but I feel like I would have had to run like a half marathon to feel like I needed something like this to completely refuel. It's a lot, but it is delicious. So I definitely recommend it. Try it out for yourself, because you're not going to regret getting it. Well, your waistline might regret it, but that's why you're here at Epic Universe. You get an epic, handheld, portable meal, and you also get a lot of epic worlds that you can walk around and try to burn off a fraction of the calories you're consuming by eating this. We are now to burn off some of those calories from that cone at Super Nintendo World. aka Super Mario World. It will always be Super Mario World for me because, let's be real, it feels like all Super Mario until you get to the back and then DK takes over. But I am looking forward to trying Super Mario Kart, or excuse me, Mario Kart, as well as checking out the merch store over here. And depending on the lines in the way, I would gladly re-ride Donkey Kong Minecart Madness again. I thought that ride was very cute and adorable and a lot of fun. So we're gonna see what we can get into. And here we go. We played a few games. Let's go ahead and get in line for Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
had to take my hair down because this hat was not fitting. We on the struggle bus today. friends, I needed another pick-me-up after playing the games in Super Nintendo World. So we walked back over to a Starbucks booth located in Celestial Park. I have a cortado, which has 3 shots of espresso. Cheers. Y'all, it has been a fun day, but a long day. I started fading, and I'm gonna tell you what I think was the cause of me fading beyond the heat. That cone from How to Train Your Dragon with the macaroni and cheese, let me tell you, I now have more thoughts that though it's good, I would probably recommend getting something like that. Either A, if let's just say you've been at the park for most of the day and you've done it and literally you haven't eaten and you need something that's satisfying and filling. Otherwise, I would recommend maybe waiting to eat something like that after, like toward the evening when the weather is not, the sun is not as intense and you're not still having to eat something heavy like that. I think I started actually getting a little bit nauseous again, not because the food was bad. It was just a lot, y'all. But your girl is good. She's feeling much better. We have our Java here, another round, Java number 2. We are going to head on to Yoshi, which if you happen to have caught my last Epic Universe video, check that out where I show pretty much the whole Yoshi ride. Afterwards, we're gonna check out the merch store and then head over to Celestial Park. Give Celestial Park some love. But y'all, now that the sun is going down, take a look at Super Mario Land. It is starting to look so pretty at night. And this is the thing about Epic Universe. Epic Universe is an evening time park. I cannot wait till they open up season passes, if I decide to get one, to have the opportunity to just use that, come in the evenings after a long day at work. I cannot wait, especially when we get into our Walk and Talk Wednesdays at Epic Universe. We are ways away from doing that, but I cannot wait when we're able to just take our time and it's so beautiful in the evening. Y'all have fun. Bye. Okay, friends, so I can't take my coffee on the ride. It is all good. So my co-producer and sister are going to have a fun loop around. This will give me some time just to catch up and chat with you. So I will tell you, I thought Mario Kart Racers was an interesting ride. I want to do it again before I formulate my opinion. I will say I'm on the side that I actually enjoyed it, and I know that Mario Kart has a reputation to be a hit or miss, and I get it because if you are someone where you feel like there's too much going on, it feels distracting, it could feel confusing. I could totally get someone being like, I don't like it because it's too much. I personally wish that I could have had some time to actually pay attention to the ambiance and the settings because you're trying to earn those coins, right? So I thought the gameplay was a lot of fun, and I really started leaning into the gameplay right when we're about like halfway through the ride toward the end, really getting used to just how everything works, which they explained to you in detail. So all the directions were truly correct. It's just, you know, getting acclimated to everything. So it's to me, I thought it was a lot of fun. I am looking forward to going back on it again at some point. I also want to make a quick honorable mention of a lot of the games that they have around here in Super Nintendo World. Oh my gosh, like honestly y'all, not gonna lie, I thought that it was a gimmick, like oh you get these power-up bands, you get the coins, like it can't really be that fun. It's actually a lot of fun. We've played a lot of the mini games and you earn these stamps that go on your app. So if you're someone especially who loves games, like I love games, and my sister and my co-producer, my sister actually has her own gaming channel, so follow Whitney on YouTube. But if you love games, you will love this. You could literally spend the whole day just playing the mini games, trying to collect all the achievements, and that's the whole point, right? So I love the fact that you had that opportunity to do so, and for me, I will definitely be coming back. to Super Nintendo World in future visits at Epic Universe just to try to earn more of those achievements. So the games are a lot of fun. I would say really call out to self-care, right? There's not a lot of shade. Y'all, I know I sound like a broken record that I say this, but I say it because even I started getting nauseous throughout the day. And especially if you're eating a lot of heavy foods and then you're out here in this heat and you're not drinking enough water. So I cannot stress this enough. Drink a lot of water. Be careful about what you're eating. Try to save the heavier meals till toward the end of the day and save like lighter meals toward the beginning. Drink a lot of water. Stay hydrated so that way you don't get to a place where you feel really nauseous. But if you ever feel like you need a break, sit down, relax, enjoy the view, find a shaded place. And I will say to that note, there are restaurants that are like quick service style that have some seating and you don't even really have to order anything. It could just be a good place to sit. So one example of that is Pizza Moon. We actually made our way in there. I didn't record anything because I was just feeling a little tired and I needed a break. I needed some me time. But you can go in there. You don't have to order any pizza. There's a ton of seating. You can just chill, get out of the sun, have a little bit of a break, right? So that's just a little pro tip for you. So I have truly enjoyed my time, far better here. What we're going to do after my sister and husband get off the Yoshi ride is head back over into Celestial Park after checking out the Super Mario World gift shop. And then after Celestial Park, I'm not really sure how we're going to end our day. We were able to nab one more virtual queue to the Ministry of Magic. Honestly, I don't know that I'm going to end my day with Ministry of Magic. I'm good. We've been able to do this ride twice in terms of like the totality of our Epic Universe experience, and it's actually not my favorite. I love the Dark Universe, more specifically the Monsters Unchained. That to me is one of the best rides. I actually like that better than the Ministry of Magic. I know, fighting words, but I said what I said. So we're gonna go ahead, head over to the gift shop, and then make our way back over to Celestial Park. Friends, we have another 30 minutes left before the park fully closes. What are we gonna do? We are gonna end our evening on the beautiful Carousel. Here is what it looks like, and it just is so gorgeous at night. And the wait is now at 35 minutes, but the wait has actually been like, I want to say less than 15 minutes for most of the day because it's so beautiful. A lot of folks want to ride this in the evening, understandably so. So we're gonna hop on and end our round 2 of Epic Universe experience with the Carousel. Ride is about to start. So something to note when you get on it, you can choose to either sit in bench seating or single animal seating, which is really awesome and nice. So I can enjoy talking to you all a bit. I decided to opt for the bench seating. And here we go. friends, that concludes our second day here at Epic Universe, and this visit was infinitely better in so many ways. I felt like I had a much better time, and shout out again to the teammates here at Epic for listening to feedback, for making the situation right, and giving us the kind of a day that I think that not only my sister, my husband, and I, but even other people who came out here, and I know who were also equally disappointed. I think that Epic Universe, again, and I said this in my last video, is truly epic. It is beautiful, it's massive, there's a lot of great things to do. I think my biggest thing that I want, and I still see it even in this visit, I think that having a successful time here at Epic Universe, having a great time shouldn't be incumbent upon luck, right? There should be more consistency, and I do think over time Epic Universe will get more consistent about learning about what are some of the common mechanical issues that plagues its rides, and they will fix it. But I hope that they do that sooner rather than later, because of course you don't want a lot of upset people, right? I think at the end of the day, what I've learned and what has been consistent are the 10 members here who are working very hard to make sure that folks are come happy, leave happy, and overall have a great time. So again, I'm super grateful for this experience. And I want to say, like, what have I learned today? I think I learned that it is truly possible to have an epic time here at Epic Universe. I also learned that this theme park has so much to offer in terms of the things you can do. And so what I would recommend for anyone who's coming out here, especially in the early days, exercise a lot of patience, but also if your day is not going accordingly, if it's not fulfilling, if you feel like you're walking out of here immensely frustrated, spend some time at guest services, have the conversation, share with them feedback, right? Like, sharing feedback and criticism doesn't mean that that's always a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you have to be belligerent. It doesn't mean that you have to cuss anybody out. Like, none of that is necessary, but I do think, and I am a firm believer in giving feedback where feedback is due, because that's the whole point of these previews, right? And even when they fully open to the public, they do need to hear from you when things are not going accordingly, and give them an opportunity to see how they're going to rectify it, right? That's really my biggest lesson here. I truly enjoyed, I think, Monsters Unchained the most out of all the rides, which was truly a little bit surprising to me. And I'm looking forward to spending more time in the future out here, especially when they do give a pass holder option, so that we can take our time, we don't feel rushed. That is going to completely change the tone, I believe, of my day. It's just being able to relax, have a good time, walk around, especially in the evening, because Epic Universe is an evening theme park. It is gorgeous at night, and I'm looking forward to doing a future video just of like the night shots of the different universes / worlds, and continuously taking you all on another adventure. With that being said, I hope you all stay well caffeinated out there, stay safe, always have a good time, and I'll catch you on the next journey. Bye, everybody.